So we want to shoot, so we are going to go new subclass and we are going to pick something. Wow, that's really weird. We're still recording. Maybe if we don't stop it and bring it back up, it will work. I know how to stop recording. I don't want to stop recording. Try this one more time, and if it crashes, then I won't be making a video. So we're going to make a lobster shoot anchors. Perfect. A lobster that will shoot anchors. So I'm going to call this, we'll call it anchor. Okay. Okay. It seems to be okay now, so ignore that first little bit. So we're going to shoot an anchor. Now, this is the first time we are going to have an object appear on the screen not right away. I don't want to go up here into my world and put add object anchor, because that implies that the anchor is going to appear on the screen immediately. That's not what we want. So in video games that you've played before, what do you use to shoot? Usually the space bar. Now, who is shooting? The character. So in this case, the lobster. Okay? So I'm going to go into the lobster class. And here's the nice thing about this is that I've already got some key control. And so I don't have to remember how to do that. I can copy, paste, and change this word down to the word space. Now the difference is I don't want to set a location. I want to add a bullet to the screen. In this case, an anchor to the screen. So here's how I do that. First of all, I want to add object, right? So now I do want to add an object to the screen. So I'm going to add object. What am I adding? Well, I'm adding a new anchor. And I have to give it coordinates. So right now, just to see if it works, I'm going to put 100, 100. And I'm going to get an error. Does anybody think they know why I might be getting an error? And the hint is that it's under add object. And keep in mind, if you answer, you will be on video for all of eternity. No pressure. Yes, Elijah? No, good try. You're wrong forever. Where is it that we've used add object before? In my world. You can add an object to a world because that's like putting something on a canvas. Can you add an object to a lobster? No, that makes no sense. So what I have to do is type get world with 2 brackets, and what that does is it gets the current world that you are in, because remember, video games can have multiple worlds, and it's going to add an object to that world. Now, I'm not done, but let's see what effect that has in our game, and hopefully it won't crash. So run space. Look, we got an anchor. So it kind of worked. We got an anchor on the screen. No, it didn't crash. Did it? No, it didn't. So it worked. Now, what's the problem? Zach says A, it stays on one spot. That's not a very good bullet. Bullets tend to travel. What's the other problem? It is big. We're not going to worry about that yet. Alex?
You want the lobster to shoot it, not just it to appear on the screen?
Right. So I told the bullet to appear at 100, 100. Where should it appear? Wherever the lobster is, right? Now, remember, we are actually programming in the lobster class. How could I get the coordinates of the lobster, Francois?
Get X and get Y.
That's exactly right. Get X and get Y. So now I'm telling the anchor to appear at the X coordinate of the lobster and the Y coordinate of the lobster. So let's see how that changes things. So I run it, hit spacebar, and you can see that now an anchor appears right on the lobster. So we're almost there. The last thing we have to do is make that anchor move. Now, where would I do that? What class would I do that in? In the anchor. So I go to the anchor. Does anybody remember how to make something move? What was the function? And we're starting to learn. I want you to start to get this. So there was a method we used. Yep.
Sending a message.
Not quite. I'll give you a hint. It started with an S and then there was an E. Not, okay, you're giving me how to actually move it. What did you say? set location. So we want to set the location of the anchor. Now, Ben, you're saying get x, let's say plus 9. 9 would be the speed at which it moves, and we'll only make it move to the right. So this is going to say every time the act method is invoked, change the anchor's location by 9. All right, so let's see how that changes everything. Run it, shoot. Oh, I died. Okay, so we haven't yet got the bullet to do anything, but do you think you know how to do that already? Yeah? Pardon me? Yeah, so there's a couple things we have to do. A, we have to shrink our bullet because it's huge. And B, we have to make the bullet disappear when it gets to the edge of the screen. And C, we have to tell the bullet if you intersect with a dolphin, what should happen then? The dolphin should disappear, right? But you already know collision detection. So you could copy and paste your collision detection code into the anchor and say, hey, if you hit a dolphin, make that dolphin disappear. And then later you could say add score and all that kind of stuff. And you video game people, you're probably thinking, well, the other thing is I could just hold down this button all day long, right? So later I'll show you how to do a timer so that you can only shoot every, say, 0.25 seconds or something like that. But what you have now is the basics of shooting an object, and this concludes our live in-class video.